welcome.
That was formal.
Yeah, it was formal.
Welcome.
Hello. Join us. Hannah's injured.
I injured myself
Aww.
in our workout video yesterday. It was not like a moment. It was a culmination.
Culmination, yeah. There was a lot of lifting of
Yeah.
me, if you saw the video that we posted yesterday. Lots of Shane on the floor,
Yeah.
Shane in Hannah's hair, Shane on the couch.
And like taking your pants off back in your chair.
You literally ran through the house,
Uh-huh.
carrying me, chasing the dog.
And something happened to my hip. I don't know what it is. I think it's a nerve.
She woke up
It's
this
coming and
morning
going.
and she like limped out the living room where I was and was like, something happened to my hip.
Last night it hurt a tiny bit, but I thought
Yeah.
it'd be gone this morning. But I have some sort of nerve injury, I think.
So what I'm taking from all this is that I'm going to be stuck in my chair for the foreseeable future.
I looked at you this morning and it didn't hurt. So
I
I
know.
wonder if it wasn't even from lifting. Maybe it was from jogging the 15 feet I jogged outside.
Hannah's body's like, jog you? No, thank you. We're not going to do that.
Anyway.
This is a result of the virus, I think.
What
We've all
is?
been inside, not moving.
Oh
for so
yeah,
long.
I'm stiff.
Suddenly you move and
Uh-huh.
everything falls to pieces.
It's true. It's sad. Whatever.
Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's time to talk about our lives.
Nope. All right. So today we are going to review Crip Camp.
We've never done a video review before.
We have not. No. We wanted to do like Me Before You. There were some things that we wanted to do, but
Yeah.
we're gonna review this. We want to warn you that there will be some spoilers. So if you want to see it without knowing like anything about it, go do that first.
It's a documentary, so like
Yeah.
spoilers are
I mean, it's history.
a
So.
loose term, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that our first and biggest like thought on the film is watch it.
Yeah.
We really want you to watch it.
Yeah.
Not only because we loved it, and we'll get to that, but because like we want you to make your own opinion.
Yeah.
How often do people like recommend something with flying colors? Like, oh, that was the greatest movie or life-changing piece of art that I've ever witnessed, and then you watch it and you're like, what?
That reminds me of your all-time favorite movie. What is it called? Dogtown?
Lords of Dogtown.
Lords of Dogtown.
The single greatest film ever created. Yeah.
It's
Go
in my
on.
memory. I watched it. You made me watch it. It's about like a couple of boys that like surfing and live in a shack.
It's about the rise of skateboarding.
Is skateboarding, not surfing?
No.
I remember it as surfing.
They did surf. Oh my god, I have so much to tell you.
I watched it. It was horrible. It was like a Disney Channel movie, but I like Disney Channel movies, so it was like way worse.
It's a really good example. That film was that piece of art.
It is for kids, right? It's
It
a
was
kid movie.
it was a formative film in my youth, and it doesn't quite translate for adults.
No.
But a great example. I was like, Hannah, you're gonna love this.
We cannot compare this film to your favorite childhood movie, Lords of Dogtown. I don't think you're going to have the same reaction to this that I did to Lords of Dogtown.
Yeah, but our point is watch Crip Camp
Yes.
because it is important
Yes.
and amazing, and let's talk about, well, you know what? We should probably do a summary
Okay.
before we get into it.
Okay. First, a quick synopsis. You wrote that down. You were
Yeah.
the biggest dork in the world. You literally wrote that
You're
down.
not supposed to read that part.
Down the road from Woodstock, a revolution blossomed at a ramshackle summer camp for teenagers with disabilities, transforming their lives and igniting a landmark movement.
Boom.
Perfect. That was a great summary.
Whoever wrote that, I think that was off of Wikipedia.
Nailed it.
That was great. Thank you. All right, so we're not going to hide this. We loved the movie. We thought it was important and entertaining and funny. It had all of it.
Yeah.
So instead of like doing the things that we loved and the things that we didn't love, because we couldn't find things that we didn't love.
We tried. She was like, what are some things that they didn't do very well? And we were like,
I was trying to be really objective. And I was like, well, maybe the camera work, but like it was, a lot of it comes from the
camp.
70s.
Yeah.
Like,
where it was just a person with a camera.
yeah, and that, I mean, it's we loved
And
it.
I loved that. It was
Yeah,
so cool
yeah.
because it was just like someone filming at the camp. You know?
Uh-huh.
It was cool.
Yeah. So there was really nothing that we didn't like about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the reasons that we loved it. And we have 8 reasons.
Reason number 1. This is one of the first mainstream movies about disability history.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that there are some movies out there that have characters with disabilities, but they're very rarely portrayed in a great way.
Well, and because this is a documentary, they're just portrayed as they are. You know, like it's not a
Exactly,
character,
yeah.
it's not like an able-bodied person's idea of a disabled person. It's
Yep.
just a documentary.
And this is really the first time that the challenges that people with disabilities face in society have ever been looked at in a popular
Yeah.
way. And that is so important. That is the only reason that you need to watch it, to educate yourself
Yeah.
and, learn about what my people have gone through.
You.
The second reason that we loved it is that the film creates an emotional attachment to the characters, the people, the real
Yeah.
people in the film, while also providing boatloads of info.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes documentary characters can be a little dry, you know, if it's just like interview style or whatever.
Yeah.
But this, I felt like we watched these people grow up because there's so much footage of them.
And it's like raw footage.
Yeah, from when they're 15,
Yeah.
like sitting around talking, and then now they're like in their 60s or whatever.
Uh-huh. And it's like juxtaposed by like seeing how they grow throughout the years, and like by the end of the film you see their whole life. You've seen their whole life, and just knowing like how far they've come.
Yeah.
You can't help but like get kind of emotional about it. You know?
Yeah, both of us were tearing up at the end. It was like a powerful ending.
The people that they follow are really interesting and important people, and their work is emotional.
Yeah. Our third reason is that the film shows how long it took and how difficult it was to even start the conversation about disability rights.
That's a conversation that all of you know we're still having today.
Yeah.
We're still trying to show the world that people with disabilities are worthy of
Access and respect,
and love and normal treatment in society. But it took a lot to get anyone to even begin talking about that. And the people in this film are the ones who do that.
The documentary shows laws being passed, and the people in the film really celebrate that, and like that's what they're pushing for, and then they're never enforced. So then that's like the next movement is to try to get it enforced.
Yeah.
And obviously today that's still an issue.
And you see like how, they confront authorities about the laws not being enforced, and the authorities are just like, well, we passed the law.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do about it?
Well, there was that one line that was like the New York City transportation, like making transportation accessible, and the politician is like, well, how many people would really benefit from this? Like, it's not cost effective.
Yeah.
Like completely dismissed.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you see people being driven around in a U-Haul because there's no accessible transportation.
You see a guy who uses a wheelchair get out of his car and has to go all the way around the block to find a way into a building. It's just tons of like real life examples like that. Yeah, shows how difficult it was. Another reason that we love the film, this one's a little bit more personal. It made me really examine my own biases and negative feelings about disability that I've had to work throughout my life.
If you've read Shane's first book, you might remember the chapter that you wrote about MDA camp.
Camp.
Yeah, a camp just like this.
I went to camp.
Yeah, but his experience was really different. Do you want to talk about how it was different?
Yeah, so...
Well, maybe we should say how this was.
Right, okay.
Like at this camp, in the film...
Camp Jened.
I think it skews toward... it's teenagers, not kids, which is probably important because you were, 13 when you were 12?
Young, yeah. 10 even.
10.
Yeah.
It's older kids, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of adults. Like, there's one adult there, and then, a lot of counselors. Like, some are able-bodied, some have disabilities. The campers have disabilities, and they're just,
they're all hippies.
They're being teenagers, doing, teenager activities. It's, totally, it's, a free-for-all.
Yeah.
To just be yourself,
And I think in the summary they say, down the road from Woodstock for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, it is very much a hippie time in the world, and this camp is like a microcosm of that.
And there's all different kinds of disabilities. Yours was just muscular dystrophy, but this is like intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities of all kinds. So.
Yeah. And it was just a really like open-minded place where everyone there was very proud of their disabilities and inclusive of all types of disabilities.
Yeah.
When I went to camp, I was feeling really uncertain about my disability and my place in the world as a disabled person. I was embarrassed of my disability. I was shameful of it. And what I had seen in the world was that being different, being disabled, was a bad thing. And so at that point in my life, as a 10, 11-year-old, I was doing everything I could to distance myself from disability as much as I could. And looking back on that now, I kind of hate that I did that I didn't, have more pride in who I was. But when I went to camp and was suddenly surrounded by other kids with disabilities, I did not like it. I was like, oh, this is too much of a reflection of who I am, and I was not able to mentally and emotionally like confront it at that point in my life. And so I was like, this is stupid. All the other kids are losers, and like, I'm the coolest one here because I'm normal. And like, it took me a while, like through my teen years, to really understand what I was doing and process that internal ableism that I was having even as a disabled person. So the film, Crip Camp, really made me look at that again and be like, wow, all those teenagers with like all different disabilities are just there having fun, not caring that they are different, and like, I wish I could have been more like that as a kid.
I think more than just you being different, though, like the camps were very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like your NDA camp, it's still marketed as like a heavenly week for disabled kids. Like,
it's very
and
like,
I get like volunteer emails and stuff that's like, help make these kids' dreams come true and volunteer. And the Camp Jeanette was like the total opposite. Like these people arrived on a bus and they were just like carried off, and it was like, all right, like we need counselors. It was not marketed as like poor disabled people at all.
Exactly.
It was like by disabled people for disabled people, and it was like very much we're all equal. Like the counselors are like sleeping during the day, and they're like, this is where we find the counselors. Like it was a very equal
all, like,
environment.
Smoking together and like making fun of each other.
The head guy.
There's a hilarious joke. This is a big spoiler, but like
not really. It's just one moment.
The director of the camp at some point is like digging holes in the ground, and the interviewer is like, what are you doing? He was like, these kids are so clumsy, so I'm gonna mess with them and dig holes so they fall into them.
He's like, I think it'd be funny if some of them fell over.
And like the disabled kids around him like laugh, and like it's just, that's the humor of the time, and they like they felt like they were all equal, so they could all make fun of each other. But like,
I think you would have thrived in that environment.
I would love that,
as opposed to an environment that was like, you're gonna have a great week. You know,
I was put on like this level of like, your life at home must be miserable. Come to camp so that you can experience fun. And it made me like feel weird about I don't know.
So there's a lot of differences.
A lot of differences. Anyway, that was a long.
But this film showed what camp could have been.
Yeah.
And should have been.
Yeah.
For you. You know.
Number 5, the film had a phenomenal soundtrack.
It was so good.
The music of that time period, like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, the Grateful Dead. It all went together really nicely.
Yeah. Another thing we really liked about the film is that everyone in it was given an equal voice. Everyone was speaking for themselves. A lot of the people that were interviewed had differences in speaking ability, and everyone was given equal time and equal, like no one had their lines read for them. Like everyone was speaking for themselves. I think it was interesting to see that because you never get to see that.
I see that a lot on like news interviews.
Yeah.
When they email someone who has a difference in speaking ability, they will have like an interpreter there, even though the individual being interviewed can speak for themselves if
Yeah.
given the time.
Yeah.
They don't really deal with it. But in this film, everyone speaks for themselves, and
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. All different kinds of disabilities are represented as well. And everyone, I mean, it was true of the time that there's this like group of people and they're all disabled in different ways and like they're all working together, and that was true
Yeah.
in the film.
I think that's what made their movement so powerful, is
Yeah.
that it wasn't like just people with mobility disabilities. It wasn't just deaf people. It was cool.
Reason number 7, we're getting there. The film makes it really easy for able-bodied people who don't have a lot of experience with disability or any at all to care about the disability rights movement.
Yeah, I think that goes back to our first reason that we love it. Like, this is a really important thing. And the film shows you with like sometimes brutal honesty, just real human beings being horribly mistreated. And then it switches to the government official on camera being addressed or confronted with this mistreatment and just being like, nah, whatever, like, I don't really care about that, like, it's not the budget right now.
Yeah.
And it opens your eyes. I mean, it's horrible.
It's a great example of how the government can discriminate against people and no one really hears about it by just saying like, we don't care, you know, by just ignoring it. And then you feel the frustration of like, how do we make the change when everyone we're talking to is like, not right now. Our last reason,
Number 8.
Halfway through the movie, Shane was like, this is an amazing movie, but I hope they don't wrap it up by pretending that everything is done, that this movement is over.
Yeah, because it like brings you up to the passage of the ADA, which happened in the 1990, and I was like, please, like, there's so much more that needs to be done. And thankfully, the last like 30 minutes of the film are all about all these people that went to Camp Juned being adults later in life with like families and children and whatever, talking to you and being like, you know, we came a really long way with the passage of all these laws, but it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
That's a quote from the movie. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And they're very upfront about the fact that, like, there is a lot of work yet to be done for making people with disabilities have the rights that they deserve in the U.S.
Yeah, they said that you can pass laws, but unless you change society's attitudes, that doesn't mean anything. So that was sort of how it ended, was like on that note, which we really appreciated.
It was, and it somehow did it in a way that made Hannah and I both tear up and be like, oh, like, I just want to know these people and like be their friend.
We didn't write this down, but something you said reminded me of it.
Well, if it's not on the list, we can't say it.
It showed all these people with various disabilities being parents and like spouses and showing their adult lives, and like you never get to see that. And I think a lot of people think that what we're doing is unique, but like in this movie they literally are all married and they're all like, they have kids. There's a couple where both of them have CP and use power chairs and they have a kid together, and like you see how they're parenting. It's just like a wonderful use of the film to show how normal disabled people are.
Yeah, so that is why we are head over heels in love with Crip Camp. It's available on Netflix.
Yep.
We believe it should be required viewing for all human beings.
And in schools, like no one teaches disability history at all.
Yeah.
Like even my college doesn't have a disability, not even one class, like let alone a department, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really think it should be in schools.
We're all not doing anything right now. So
if you're watching, what is it called? Tiger King? Is that what it's called? Tiger King?
No, this is a hot take right here.
If you're watching Tiger King, please turn it off and watch this instead. Oh my God, I cannot.
That's the biggest hot take of this whole video.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, we really feel like everyone should watch it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
We hope you go watch Crip Camp.
And let us know what you think. We would love to hear your thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.